Hey Vikings fans, buckle up because something big is quietly brewing in Minnesota. And trust me, this is the kind of under-the-radar development that could define the entire 2026 season. Everyone's been talking about the flashy moves around the league, but the Minnesota Vikings? They're moving differently, strategically, and maybe even a little dangerously. At first glance, this offseason feels almost too quiet. No blockbuster spending spree, no headline-grabbing chaos. Well, aside from that shocking Kyler Murray storyline that had everyone buzzing. But beyond that, it's been calm, maybe too calm. So here's the real question. Are the Vikings playing chess while the rest of the league plays checkers? Or are they leaving dangerous gaps on this roster? Stay with me because what's happening at one key position could change everything. The truth is, Minnesota didn't go wild in free agency, and that's not by accident. The front office clearly has a plan, and it's centered around patience, development, and the NFL draft. But patience can be risky when you've got a roster ready to compete right now. Yes, they added depth pieces like James Pierre and Ryan Vandemark, but let's be honest, those aren't moves that shake the NFC North. These are supporting pieces, not game changers. And when you look at the roster closely, one glaring issue stands out. One position that could make or break the entire offense. And right now, it's still a question mark. We're talking about the center position. And Vikings fans, this is where things get really interesting. Because as it stands today, the depth chart is thin. Really thin. Only two names are being seriously discussed. Blake Brandel and Michael Juergens. That's it. No proven elite anchor. No locked-in starter. Just potential and uncertainty. And if you know football, you know this center isn't just another position. It's the heartbeat of the offensive line. This communication, protection, timing, everything starts there. Let's talk about Blake Brandel for a second, because his story is fascinating. This is a guy who's been with the Vikings since 2021. Grinding, adapting, and playing wherever the team needs him. Left guard, tackle, you name it, he's done it. And now, he might be stepping into the most important role of his career. What makes this even more intriguing is how the coaching staff views him. This isn't just a backup being forced into action. This is a player they genuinely trust. Head coach Kevin O'Connell recently opened up about the situation, and his words should grab your attention. He didn't sound worried, he sounded confident. He talked about Brandel's willingness to step in at center with very little preparation and still perform at a high level. That kind of versatility, that's rare in the NFL. And more importantly, O'Connell made it clear, this is going to be a competition. Nothing is being handed out. The best player will win the job. Now let's not forget about Michael Juergens, because this young player is quietly developing behind the scenes. A late-round pick in 2024, he's not a household name yet. But according to O'Connell, Juergens is ascending. That's coach speak for a player who's improving fast and pushing for a bigger role. So now you've got a battle, experience versus upside. Versatility versus development. And honestly, that's exactly what you want heading into a critical season. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The draft is coming. And the Vikings are watching closely. O'Connell hinted that this year's draft class has serious talent at the center position. Translation: help could be on the way. Imagine adding a young, high-upside center into this mix. Suddenly, what looks like a weakness could turn into a long-term strength. And that's the strategy here. Build through competition. Let players earn their roles. Create depth and flexibility across the offensive line. But let's shift gears for a moment, because there's another major piece of news that Vikings fans need to hear. And this one is a lot more straightforward. The team has officially picked up Jordan Addison's fifth-year option. And honestly, this was a no-brainer. Addison has already proven he's a key part of this offense. Even without a 1,000-yard season yet, his impact is undeniable. Pairing him with Justin Jefferson gives the Vikings one of the most dangerous young receiver duos in the entire NFL. Speed, route running, explosiveness, it's all there. Yes, there were some drop issues in 2025. Yes, there were off-field concerns. But talent like this? You don't let it walk away. The front office made it clear they believe in Addison. They see him as a cornerstone piece moving forward. And let's be real. If this is truly a win-now season, you need weapons. You need playmakers. And Addison is exactly that. Now here's the bigger picture. You've got a team that's staying quiet in free agency, trusting internal development, and preparing to strike in the draft. You've got a potential position battle at center that could define the offensive line. And you've locked in one of your most important offensive weapons for the long term. That's not inactivity, that's calculated aggression. So let me ask you this, Vikings fans. Do you trust this strategy? Do you believe Blake Brandel can step up and own that center position? Or do you think the Vikings must draft a center to stay competitive in 2026? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to hear from you. And if you're as fired up about the Minnesota Vikings as I am, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with every Vikings fan you know. Because this season is shaping up to be something special, and you do not want to miss what happens next.